Hello everyone, without further delay, here are levels 5 and 6 of our video game movie Iceberg. George Romero, director of the original Dawn of the Dead as well as other horror films, wrote a screenplay for a Resident Evil movie in 1998 that was rejected by Capcom, who later accepted Paul W. S. Anderson's 2002 Resident Evil film adaptation. At the time of this video's release, a documentary directed by Brandon Salisbury about what could have been with Romero's Resident Evil movie has released that chronicles some of the ideas and potential the film could have had. During the Chinese release of the Monster Hunter movie, there was a major backlash in social media due to a Chinese joke where actor Jin Ah-young's character jokingly asks, "Look at my knees," and to the question, "What kind of knees are these?" he replies, "Chinese." The line in that scene felt similar to a racist playground chant and was considered an insult to the Chinese people. The movie was removed from circulation by Chinese authorities despite distributor Tencent modifying the scene to omit the lines. Apologies were also issued by the film's studio, director, and the actor. The controversy also resulted in the movie being reviewed bombed by many Chinese users. When director Michael Bay dismissed Uwe Boll as a director during an interview in 2008, Boll responded in typical fashion by insulting all of Bay's movies and challenging the director to a one-on-one 12-round boxing match. Bay declined the fight and would later describe Boll as a fucking idiot in a forum post. In 2009, a BioShock movie was officially announced to be in development, with Gore Verbinski set to direct, only to later become a producer. According to the Verbinski, the film would languish for several years in development hell, with much of the issue coming from the high proposed budget and the viability of an R-rated movie doing well at the time. Although the script was drafted and some development was made, nothing would come of it. At this time, Netflix is set to make a BioShock film adaptation with director Francis Lawrence for a 2026 or a 2027 release. Special effects technician Tom Woodruff Jr. brought Goro to life in 1995's Mortal Kombat movie by wearing a Goro torso over his shoulders, such that Tom's head remained concealed inside Goro's chest and Tom's arms served as Goro's lower arms. Above Tom's head rested a specially built Goro frame that supported a pair of mechanically articulated arms, as well as a fully articulated Goro head controlled by off-screen puppeteers. The effect was completed with the addition of lifelike foam rubber skin, and the voice work was handled by Kevin Michael Richardson. Pat Casey and Josh Miller, the writers for the Sonic the Hedgehog film trilogy, were asked about how much of the original Sonic design replacement changed the first film after the backlash. According to Casey, there were no reshoots at all the live action stuff remained exactly the same, so the story overall remained pretty much the same. We did come back in and retool some stuff, especially the very beginning of the movie. Although many people still believe that a cut of the movie with Sonic's original design may still exist or archived somewhere in Paramount Studio, the original Sonic trailer is some of what remains of this design being used, as well as a few deleted scenes. In the movie In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale, Jason Statham's character drank a potion that, according to Uwe Boll, was a mix of tea and ketchup in order to get a disgusted reaction from Statham when he drank it. Time magazine interviewed Ben Kingsley in 2010 and asked him why he wanted to be in the movie Blood Rain. Kingsley answered that he always wanted to play a vampire in a movie, citing that his motives were very immature at the time. R.J. Palmer is a freelance concept illustrator who was known in the DeviantArt space for his realistic depictions of Pokemon. The studio behind the Detective Pikachu movie would stumble across his work and hire him to be involved in the movie, with his artwork heavily inspiring the designs of the Pokemon. During the release of the Angry Birds movie in 2016, several online outlets and Reddit threads discussed how the film's plot felt like an anti-immigration allegory on the European refugee crisis. Many cited that the pigs invading the island represented Muslim immigrants coming to the West, and characters like the tired and washed-up eagle representing the United States. Meanwhile, the Washington Post argued that the themes of the film were more about colonization in the United States. Kenny James has been the voice actor for Bowser in Mario video games since 2007. Although Jack Black voices Bowser in the 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie, several of his roars and grunts in the movie were actually from James. Jeff Fowler worked on the 2005 video game Shadow the Hedgehog as a CGI movie production animator, and would later go on to direct both Sonic movies, with the third one making the first appearance of Shadow the Hedgehog on the big screen. Uwe Boll mentioned in 2005's Alone in the Dark DVD commentary how he funded his movies back in the day through a German tax code loophole, where if you invested in a movie in Germany, you would get about 50% of that money back from the government. This loophole would be closed by the government in 2006, but many online cited this as being the main reason why Boll's movies feel half-baked and cheap-looking, as Boll would get some of that money back regardless of the quality of the film. A Splinter Cell movie was announced in 2012 with Tom Hardy reportedly set for the role of Sam Fisher. Ubisoft would apparently be in talks with Warner Bros. And Paramount on the film. Unfortunately, there would be no further information on the development. In November 2024, a producer, Basil Awanak, confirmed that the film was canned due to disagreements on the script and budget. Duncan Jones, the director of Warcraft, explains that many of the film's issues could be attributed to hundreds of small edits that would eventually create problems with context, pacing, and many things not being explained properly to viewers who may not be familiar with the World of Warcraft lore. 40 minutes of the film were apparently removed from the final cut, and no director's cut exists anywhere, with this removing footage due to the heavy CGI and post-production effects that would render the removed content unusable. In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic and Tails are dressed in ski and winter clothing when traveling in Siberia. The outfits may be a callback to Sonic's alter ego in the Fleetway Sonic comics. According to early storyboards on the Angry Birds 2 movie, the film was going to have a much more serious tone, with one scene depicting the Eagles destroying Piggy Island and Zeta threatening to slit Leonard's neck. Neil Druckmann, writer and creative director for the Last of Us video game, drafted a film adaptation in 2014 with Sam Raimi set to direct. This Last of Us movie would never get off the ground, and once the film rights reverted back to Naughty Dog, Druckmann then saw Craig Mazin's Chernobyl, which would eventually lead to the development of the HBO series of The Last of Us. Here are a list of upcoming movies based on video games that are releasing in 2025 and beyond, according to an article from IGN. A Minecraft movie, which releases on April 4th, 2025. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which releases on December 5th, 2025. Street Fighter, which releases March 20th, 2026. The Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, which releases April 3rd, 2026. Those remaining movies have no set date and are currently in development and will be announced eventually are the following: The Legend of Zelda, Ghosts of Tsushima, Until Dawn, The Sims, Gears of War, Mortal Kombat 2, Return to Silent Hill, Death Stranding, Days Gone, Dredge, Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2, Stray, BioShock, Space Channel 5, Comic Zone. These remaining movies from this list have also been reported to be in development in the past, but their status is currently unknown and or they may no longer be actually happening. We have Mega Man, Just Cause, Duke Nukem, Gravity Rush, Dead by Daylight, It Takes Two, Sifu, Slime Rancher, Ark Survival Evolved, Pac-Man, Streets of Rage, Sniper Elite, ToeJam and Earl, Jak and Daxter, Call of Duty, Half-Life, Saints Row, Portal, Yakuza, Beyond Good and Evil, Firewatch, Metal Gear Solid, The Division, Just Dance, Dragon's Lair. According to an interview with Eli Roth, director of the Borderlands movie, Roth's pitch to studio executives at Lionsgate for the film was inspired by Roth watching his French bulldog be shy when taking a dump outside during their walks, as the dog would get nervous if Roth was watching. This, of course, mirrors the scene in the movie where Claptrap must expel bullets from his body while the other characters watch.